Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes are facing Game 7 against the New York Rangers. Find out what this team has to do in order to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Find out in today's episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, I'd like to thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Monday afternoon. And follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. Subscribe on YouTube and rate the show 5 stars on whatever streaming platform you're listening on. And in today's episode, we will be previewing tonight's Game 7 matchup against the New York Rangers. This is the Hurricanes' second Game 7 of this postseason alone. This series against the Rangers had played out much the same as the series against Boston. The Hurricanes are great at home, but they go on the road and look like a team that has never played before. So we're yet again in a Game 7 scenario. So looking at this game tonight, we're coming off a really bad Game 6, one that outside of like the first half of the first period, the Hurricanes did not look good at all. Pretty much all aspects of their game was not there. I mean, it was nice to see Brady Shea get his first playoff goal as a Hurricane. That was cool. That's about it. Antti Ranta, he got pulled for the first time this postseason. Yeah, it was probably like the one bad game you can point to when it comes to him. Fyodor Kochetkov, he came in and he looked good. He did. So it's not that he was bad either. It's just the team out on the ice, they cannot get it figured out on the road. And that is something that, if they do advance tonight, they got to figure it out. I get that technically speaking, they could make it to the Stanley Cup final and never win a road playoff game. I know that's a technicality there, but that's not something you can do. You're not going to win a series against Tampa if you never win a road playoff game. You're not going to do that. Because let's face it, they're probably going to be the first team to beat the Hurricanes at home if the Rangers don't do it tonight. And the Hurricanes, they looked like absolute crap in Game 6, plain and simple. So, I do look at that as potentially, giving the Rangers some momentum heading into tonight, and them looking to play with desperation, wanting to advance. Something that I was saying the same thing with Boston in Game 6. The Hurricanes were not playing like a team that was trying to close out a series. Same thing here. And now they are also on the brink of elimination. It's win or go home. And they need to play like a team that is in a win or go home scenario. They got to. So looking at this is they have what it takes. They can show they can come off, crap away games, come home and look like a completely different team, go out and control the game in all aspects and really push and shove the other team around, put the pucks in the back of the net. They've shown that they can do that, coming off of these bad away games. It's just now they need to do it again. and that's going to be big. And, because again, the winner plays Tampa Bay here, and the Hurricanes are going to need as much momentum as on their side as they can get heading into that series. And I do think that the one thing that is working in the Hurricanes' advantage tonight is the fact that they have home ice. I keep saying it, they are a completely different team at home. They look like a team in a Stanley Cup when they play at home. On the road, not so much. They look like a team that should have been in the draft lottery. But at home, I'm confident that they can get it done. It's just whether or not they will get it done. Because the New York Rangers have really came out and surprised everyone this season. They are far ahead of schedule in terms of the timeline of a rebuild, essentially. So it's one of those things where this is a tougher opponent than Boston. So I am a little bit more worried. The Rangers have really been able to stifle the Hurricanes' offense. This has been a really low-scoring series for the most part. Not, like the Boston series when the home team would really, rack up some goals. This has not been that way. And the Hurricanes, they have, figured out how to score on Igor, but they haven't. It's one of those things where they're able to every now and again, but they're not able to really get it going. So that's one thing that worries me in this game. Can they get it going, and can Antti Ranta rebound from his poor performance in Game 6? And there's a lot of what ifs heading into this game. At the end of the day, I think we all know the keys to the game tonight, and we will discuss those right after this quick break. Now, folks, Game 7 is tonight. The conference finals are right around the corner. The Western Conference is already set, and right now, BetOnline is your place to go to place your bets on tonight's game, the Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals, whatever it is. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all of your betting needs and sports info. Find the latest odds, news, sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fight, and even next season's NFL futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sports wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, folks, the keys to the game tonight, they are the three big ones that I have, are the typical ones. No slow starts, offense needs to show up, and special teams needs to show up. And we've talked ad nauseum about the slow starts and the offense showing up. So y'all know what we need to do there. Special teams, I don't just say the power play tonight. I say special teams. I lump penalty killing in there with it. Okay, because yes, the penalty killing at home has been fantastic. But on the road, it has been bad. Really, really bad. And I do feel that, the Rangers, they're a better team than the Boston Bruins. And I feel that the momentum they were getting in the last game, that's going to carry over into this game. And the Hurricanes are really going to have to have all aspects of their special teams dialed in on 100%, all that stuff. And I feel like the Rangers are going to see hey, we're really able to get under the skin. We've been able to get them to take a lot of penalties. They took a lot in Game 6. I forget the exact total that they took, but it was way, way too many. And the Rangers really got at the Hurricanes and really drew the worst out of them. That's been something that the Rangers have really done on the road, is they draw the worst out of the Hurricanes whenever they're in New York. And looking at the power play, the Rangers went 2 for 5 on the power play. Can't be giving up 5 penalties. Yeah, it's not as bad as that one in Boston where you gave up 9. It's about the only positive I can say there. But they have been a lot better at home, a lot more disciplined at home. But the Rangers know how to get at this team. And I feel that they're going to try to do that tonight. So we need penalty killing to be top notch as well. Okay. Antti Raanta can't do it all in net. I mean, we saw that in Game 6. He finally had a bad game, which is a first this postseason. So, and then of course, you can look to some other keys. Like we were saying, don't let them get under your skin. Don't let them get on your head. That's going to be really, really big, especially for guys like Tony DeAngelo, especially. Don't let these guys get in your head. Don't go out there and let your emotions get the better of you and take stupid penalties, throw your stick, whatever it may be. Don't do that, okay? It's one thing to get heated. It's another to get thrown in the penalty box and cost your team goals. And because, again, this is win or go home. It's not like you got a 2-0 series lead again. No. It's do or die now, and they need everyone to be on their A game and not have the emotional stability of a high schooler. Okay? We need, everyone to be on their A games, playing and acting like professional hockey players in the National Hockey League. That's going to be really big tonight. And again, going back to home ice, I throw that into the keys to the game. I feel that home ice is going to play a major, major factor in tonight's game, because we've talked about it at every home game and every away game, just every single game this playoff, just how big of an advantage home ice has had for the Hurricanes. And I do feel that that is something that is going to continue tonight. I feel that the Hurricanes will play a lot better on home ice. Whether or not they are able to play better than the New York Rangers is going to be a different story. And because the Rangers, they are 100% bringing their A game. And it is going to be an absolute dogfight tonight. And this is going to be, I mean, it's the only playoff hockey game on tonight. So, it's obviously going to be must watch. But I think, say, the other series were still going on, I would say this would be the must watch game. These are the two heavyweights of the Metro Division. It's no longer Washington and Pittsburgh duking it out. It's looking like now it's going to be Carolina, New York. These are going to be the two teams that replace those older teams. And now we get to see who's going to be the one coming out on top. Hurricanes won in the regular season. Can they get it over on the Rangers in the postseason as well? We're going to find out tonight, folks. But at the end of the day, we got to know who's taking the ice for the Hurricanes, and we'll talk about that right after this. All right, folks. Lineups for tonight is going to be the same as Game 6. And, we'll dive into those in just a second, but I want to talk about, the decision to go with the same lineup. I think that on one hand, I think that a change is needed. I think that slotting Derek Stepan in would be a good thing. It would be a good thing. I do think that. But on the other hand, actually, going back, just a second, Game 7 in the Boston series, that's where we saw a little bit of changes. That's where we saw Steven Lawrence finally come into play. And so, making the change, come Game 7 time isn't necessarily like completely unheard of or anything like that for the Hurricanes this postseason. But on the flip side, sticking with the same lineup shows that you have confidence in those guys and that you trust them to go out there and get the job done, and you don't have to go constantly shake up the lineup or anything like that to get something going. It's not the regular season where they get on a bit of a skid, shake things up a little bit, try to get things going. It's not like that. So I feel that again, it's a double-edged sword, and keeping things the same, kind of like Sarah Sevian says, sends the message that everything's all right. And at home, everything is all right. On the road, not so much so. So I'm a little torn on this. I do think that a couple changes, could have been made, towards the bottom. But we'll see how things go. I mean, it's not necessarily like it's a bad lineup and it doesn't work. It's not that. It's not that we have to change things or anything like that. That's the thing. We don't have to change things. It's not like we, when it comes to goaltending, like we've been saying, it's not like we have to have Frederik Andersen in right now. No, Antti Raanta, aside from Game 6 against New York, has had a phenomenal playoff. Pyotr Kochetkov, whenever he's played really well as well. So it's not like we have to have Freddie in. Again, it's not like we have to change up the lineup for tonight. So it's one of those things. Like it maybe could help, but again, it's not like it's something that needed to be done. But looking at the lineup for tonight, top line we got Teravainen, Aho, and Jarvis. Second line, Svechnikov, Trocheck, and Natchez. Third line, Niederreiter, Stahl, Fast. Fourth line, Martin, Kotkaniemi, Domi. On defense, Slavin and D'Angelo, Shea Pesci, Smith, Cole. And starting goalie is going to be Antti Raanta again. But looking at these guys, before we go, I do want to say, I want these top guys to play like top guys. That is what we need in tonight's game. We've seen Vincent Trocheck really start to heat up as of late. He's starting to really come to his own this playoff. I want that to continue. Really, the top two lines, Sebastian Aho, Teuvo, Seth, Andre, Natchez, all these guys, like I want to see them step it up. And I think that's going to be really big. Top guys need to play like top guys, plain and simple. I've said it since the beginning of the season that this team is at their best when they play a full, complete game. Top guys play like top guys. You got depth guys stepping in. You got defensemen stepping in as well. Everyone chipping in on the score sheet. Everyone chipping in on defense. And all of that stuff. The team is at their best, and that is what we're going to need tonight. So let's hope they can do it. I think they can do it. In fact, I know they can do it. It's just whether or not they follow through and actually do it. Hopefully they do. But regardless, we will talk about the outcome of this Game 7 in the next episode of Locked on Hurricanes. In the meantime, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis _96. Follow the show on all streaming platforms. Make sure you rate the show 5 stars there and subscribe on YouTube. And folks, I will talk to you on the other side of Game 7. If you're going to the game tonight, enjoy it. be loud. Let's make sure the team has that home ice advantage tonight. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode.